pal. You know what I'm saying? We lie. So, without further ado, thank you guys for tapping in. We're going for gusto. Here we go. Yo, 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 yo. What's happening, everybody? It's Ida Most High, the Tranquil Ayatollah. And I'm with my tag team partner, CT, aka Chitty Bang. What's happening, my brother?
What's happening? What's happening? And we are the Underground, a professional wrestling podcast, regional wrestling podcast. And if you don't know, now you know. Check us out on RW Podcast One on Twitter. Check us out at Reasonable Wrestling Podcast on Instagram and everywhere else, basically. And check if you haven't checked it out, eiwshop.com, where we have some merchandise. We got some nice shit out there, so just check it out. Tap in if you like something. Cup of tea. But yeah, we're here to talk the week that was in professional wrestling. Now, we got a couple of things to run through. Where do you want to start, my guy?
I guess we usually on Thursdays kind of be giving love out to AEW, but we be spending like mad long and be having to breeze through WWE. So I do want to say it's not a lot that's going on from the weekly shows that I'm really attached to, but I do want to give major props out to NXT. I know we probably won't spend a long time on that this week. So I just want to start off by saying that NXT is doing a really fantastic job of creating and fine tuning and being able to establish and garner emotions for new characters over time. They constantly are rebranding. They're constantly reestablishing themselves. And even in this kind of period of them not being as hot per se, um, they're bubbling. I'm not saying they're boiling. I'm not saying that you can cook nothing and you can't put your noodles in there yet. But you know what I'm saying? You can see that the pot is getting hot. The water is getting a little warm. And what's happening down there is just pure organic learning the ropes right in front of our eyes. And I take appreciation to that because with sports analogy, you see a rookie. You know what I'm saying? You don't know his potential. You don't know what it is, but you're like, we spent the fifth round pick on him. We spent the sixth round pick on him. He's an undrafted free agent, whatever the case may be. He's a seventh round pick, whatever. But you see them grow and become fucking mainstays of your team, and you get to know them. Like, you're a Jets fan. You know your roster. You know where they was from, where they got put, and WWE is essentially doing that with their own, and they've been doing that for some time, right? That's how we knew of WWF. They have a lot of, but majority of what we know is they've worked other places. Mark Calloway, Sean Huckleberry, Paul Levesque, right? Everybody that we say is a homegrown talent of WWE works somewhere else. In WWE, in NXT right now, we are watching people get their fucking boots and singlets and out for the first time and working their characters out for the first time. And that shit, it's organic and it's dope to watch. So I just wanted to give that the proper time. And
Okay.
I just wanted to give a quick shout out for that.
Yeah, let's give it the proper time. Let's actually have a conversation about NXT. You're a bit frozen on my screen right now. I'm not sure what's going on, but
Oh, am I?
yeah.
Okay,
But
hold on.
however, let me just be honest about NXT. The problem is not with the talent. The I currently am not engaged with it as much unless I see my guy Wesley on the screen. Carmelo has been very entertaining. Creed brothers, we same guys we mention every single week. But the thing with NXT is the writing, which is ironic because that was the thing that they never had a problem with. They always had better writing. I think that the writing has not captivated me. Yeah, granted, you have new stars, new people, new characters you're creating, but I don't believe that they've even given a lot of due justice to the writing of building these stars. I think they could do better. And it's not to say that they've done poorly complete like they're trash. Not even by any means. But for what I see, Apollo, his writing has not been very well. You know, Wesley, I love his story, but they didn't like put that together quite the way that I think they should have. His championship victory. I think that leading up with Solo Sokoa taking the title, being vacated, and all that stuff, they could have set this up way better for Wesley. Braun Breaker, very talented. We see the talent. None of his storylines have been extremely entertaining per se, in my opinion. So I get, and I want to give them props because I know that they're cooking with young talent, and it takes time for talent to grow. Not everybody's going to be an A1 Sauce Gardner and be like a number one star off of day one. But I believe that they do have a bunch of talent there that, given the right storylines and projection and placement, they could actually captivate the audience in a way that people are tuning in because I can't wait to see what happens next. The fever pitch that NXT was at a while ago, if we're being honest, has been gone for a long time. And I don't think that's to do with the people and the talent there. I think it has to do more with some of the storylines they're telling. Now, when I tune in, am I entertained? Absolutely. The wrestling is great still. However, the characters don't feel like they're well rounded as they used to be, or maybe I'm asking for too much. But that's my perspective on
and that's what I
AEW,
and that's what I wanted
NXT.
to and that's what I wanted to push back, not push back on, but kind of comment on it and kind of highlight. They're dumbing down the offense a lot, right? Like, I can't give you intricate storytelling if you're not even an intricate wrestler to accentuate that, emote. Like Roderick Strong was a fantastic wrestler, mediocre promo, but enough traction within his name power that they can give him something. Bobby Roode, right? That, like, you don't get that emotion from Roderick Strong if you don't know of Roderick Strong, right? Like, he just had to have some type of name equity.
Yeah, I guess
Booker T said, "Yo, give me Last Legend 6 months, nigga. I guarantee you that motherfucker a star." You know what I'm saying? Like, Booker already knows, like, they're not necessarily training for that, but that is there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
the
saying?
star potential. Yeah, the it factor. I think that it factor thing has to be on the talent side of things, granted, but give them something to chew on. Like what they're doing, like time on the mic, time to cut a promo, somebody that's going to elevate the standard, elevate the bar, talk their shit, have that swagger that's going to make you say, listen, I'm the king of NXT, whether you were a champion or not. I don't think that Grayson Waller is it. I think he's more of a comedic character in some facets. I think he can. He's a guy you can plug in and he'll, be a great role player. I do think that where they were going with Wesley when he first became a singles run star, he had a lot of matches where he overcame the odds. He had that great promo, and then the stuff that he was doing with Carmelo and Trick, I loved it. And then they kind of died down on it for a little bit. And then I was like, okay, what's going on? Like that's kind of, I was into that storyline, and then next thing you know, all these other people are getting title shots. And then next thing you know, Solo's champion. And then, okay, it's a fatal four-way ladder match. He wins it. These little things that can like tie together the full picture. And that's what I'm getting at. This is not this is just about, that championship, obviously, everybody loves Wesley, and he deserves it. He earned it, and we're hella proud of him for getting there. So we already knew that we were chanting for him to win it, but the road to it, I think that could have been very much like for the weeks prior to the event could have been told a little bit better.
No, no,
And this is not saying that was bad. I'm
no,
not saying that it.
I totally agree. I totally
Yeah,
agree. I mean, even like you say, Braun Breaker, we knew he was it, but he's a B player. Like, and it's okay. And a B player can't. Please, I do not want to sound disrespectful because I know it's going to seem that way. What I'm saying is, Braun can't carry a story, right? Braun can be a main protagonist in the story, but the antagonist will have to carry the story. So therefore, that antagonist makes the movie.
Braun Breaker's talent is what he can do in that ring. His physique, his presence. He does have an it factor to him, but as far as the story, like I hear what you're saying, like can he be the guy to draw the fans in and say, I gotta hear what's gonna happen next? Like
Exactly.
when they're doing all that stuff with Rick Steiner and homeboy, what's his name?
So
Joe Gacy, kidnap. It didn't seem like he was really affected by it. Like he was, but it's like that believable level of listen, I'm going to rip your head off, that kind of like crazy. He has to take it to that next level of like, and but he looks like a good champion, but he still has work to do.
he's a great friend. And that's why we say Mello as an antagonist, right? They can make each other. You know what I mean? Because Mello is still not a raw talent. Like Mello's a refined diamond, right? Like Mello's VVS, but Mello
that's why I'm waiting for.
Yeah, but Mello can be motherfucking flawless. Like there, you know what I mean? Like there's different in diamond quality. Like that nigga Mello is water. That nigga is VVS water. But that nigga can be motherfucking alkaline, flawless diamond, no smudge on his name, with some really great storytelling to go along with what he already presents with the presentation and the in-ring ability.
We've been saying for a while, Braun needs somebody to elevate his game, and it's not going to be like a Dolph Ziggler coming down. It's going to be a guy like a Mello who's, an upstart who is trying to make his name off of him, but that can also talk the talk and walk the walk. I think that Mello has a charisma in the ring. He has another way of playing his mind games with the jerseys and all that stuff. And he also got, in his back pocket tricks. So the storyline between Braun Breaker and Mello will bring me to the television because I believe that Mello has been saying that he's the A champion for a year now. And mind you, Braun, you're in title reign. This guy's been saying he's the A title reign, first and second one. So he's the A champion in NXT, and you never pressed him. You never you guys never really, you never really checked him on that.
I guess his Braun situation, like it's not for me to address.
No. We can look at it from that point but at the end of the day, it goes back to writing. They can write that in, or they can choose not to. They chose not to write that in. If they were to write that in, Braun would have pressed him by now. It wasn't like Braun really was like, I'm not gonna looking into it. Like it was like, oh no, he had other people in his line, and they didn't choose to go that route. And now they're going with the Von Wagner route, which is going to be Braun against against a monster, which he's been dealing with a lot of smaller guys, which we've been talking. He's a physical competition. So this is going to give him that a physical specimen that can give him that threat. But at the same time,
I don't care about the story, and I don't care about Von Wagner.
There you go, exactly. So I'm being honest about NXT. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything to this week. I'm not saying it's bad. It's better than it was last year. I'll be honest with you. It was like a lot of stuff that had a problem with the way they were going with the storyline. Still, I think they're treating Apollo and using him completely incorrectly. This guy's a former United States champion. Had a great character. Came down, had a great moment with Braun Breaker. Shook his hand in the ring first night. People were going crazy for Apollo, and now look at him. He's almost like he's an afterthought. I know he's looking at him and McDonough. We're looking at the screen when you had Von Wagner out there. I'm not sure if they're doing a fatal four-way with the championship going forward. You go from a triple threat to a fatal four-way. Listen, we just need one-on-one Braun Breaker, Carmelo, Braun Breaker, Apollo, and see where that goes. Those are the two that we're looking for, and it's not because
Well,
these are
this goes back to this like right the abundance of goods, right? NXT currently has the influx of NXT UK. Now, do you bring a JD McDonough and a Ilya Dragunov to be secondary players when they were main players over in Europe? You know what
yes.
I'm saying? Like that's, huh?
I say yes. I say yes because you're now on television in the United States. I think that you guys can be main players, but clearly you lost the Braun Breaker, but they'll be great competition to Wesley. I think JD McDonough and Wesley could kill it. I think that Ilya Dragunov and Wesley would go insane. I think that they are secondary players right now until they prove themselves here in the States, and it's not that, but you got to understand, like, NXT UK was great and people watched it. Not as many people that watch NXT, and then people that watch NXT. It's not that many people that watch NXT. There's even more people that watch Raw and SmackDown. So to say that they're top of the game, they weren't. They were in route to becoming something, And in a little bit, we'll talk about the quarterly conference call that they had with WWE, but Triple H has talked about how he looks at it as a World Cup kind of thing, where people go from different sides in America, where they have the NXT Europe, NXT South America, NXT South Africa. I only mentioned Africa, and eventually bringing them together into NXT. It's like a funnel to have a World Cup, and eventually see them grow and become main players on Raw and SmackDown. So if you look at it from that perspective, no, they're great wrestlers, but to become that star, you got to go through the Apollos, you got to go through the Wesleys, you got to go through the people that are already in NXT. To me, like, it doesn't mean that you were champion in NXT UK. Now you face a champion in NXT. I think that the match was good though, so I'm not going to complain about the match. But now you lost. JD McDonough, go out there, start some storyline with Wesley. I would love to see what they can do. Same thing with Ilya Dragunov, just to see what that match will look like, and I think it'll be awesome.
Well, taking a step further, NXT has been a pinnacle for women division, or the growth of women division,
Absolutely.
or the exposure of women division in the States. Of course, Impact and Knockout have their fucking claim in that, and ROH women, Ring of, Women of Honor, right? So
let's keep it real. NXT really made people like
eggs.
Like, women wrestling is like took main evented takeovers.
Yes.
I don't remember there being a fever pitch for a knockouts main event and TNA. Maybe there was, but I don't. I know that we have our Tessas and our Dianas down there that are doing their thing, but they weren't Bailey and Sasha. So let's keep it real. And Charlotte and Becky, they weren't.
So with that being said, the constant revolving door that is that division. I love Indy stepping up to the plate with Tony. I'm sorry, not Tony. Zoe. Zoe and Indy had a really good performance. I love the tag team, but we talked about it a lot. The Casey and JoJo tag team, because they both Casey. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Casey and Casey. You know what I'm saying? I love the tag team of them. I do feel you on the Mandy Rose thing now.
Thank you. Finally.
But at the same time, I can't understand why they did it, because during go ahead, finish. During this year, I know we had the conversation of who could have been champion elsewhere. Correct. Other people being champion don't necessarily also mean like that's the changing of the guard, right? Or that's the right it. And if they hot potato the title, which we have complained about with people that they're not going to stick with to build Reigns with, this is just not the person we wanted them to build Reigns with. But they are doing the thing that we asked them to do previously. Yeah, got a little smudge on you.
I don't know. It's just not out of focus. I don't know what's going on. It's not even
hold on, give me 1 second. I would say this: the women in NXT, I wanted to personally give you my congratulatories because that shit is hard to follow in the footsteps of what we're accustomed to. Right? I think that is right. It's very unfair for it to be uh like you said, Sasha, Bianca, Bailey, Asuka, Ember, Shayna, and then be like, yeah, uh newbies, hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Like there isn't, and we talked about a Roxy, right? Roxy could have Roxanne Perez came in, former Ring of Honor Women's Champion. She could have came in and held it down. Her and Coral Jade could have been a really good, uh, uh, could have been a really good feud for the NXT title. I just want to know what we have cared. Would it have been met with the same, uh, would it have been met with the same type of fervor the way that is right now because it just doesn't hit all the way. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. I hear you. If they gave me that Cora J Roxy angle for the championship, for instance, I
Uh-huh.
think if they gave me that Cora J Roxy Perez championship angle that they gave me with that, oh, you're my best friend, and then all that shit, if it happened for the championship, I think it would have worked personally. I also think you just mentioned her name, Indy Hartwell. You did this whole big ass storyline with her last year in the way. You did the whole Dexter Loomis wedding. Dexter gets he leaves. There could have been something with her and Mandy, and by now she should have been champion. So, in my opinion, you've had opportunities with people that look like and they have the works because it like you go from Mandy Rose to add to the division, which I think is a great. You know, I told you last year around this time, give the title to Mandy Rose. It just makes sense. You know, it made sense as you built up Indy Hartwell with all that stuff. You should have then made her a incredible challenger along with the Alba Fires. And then by the time you had all those three triple threat at a takeover or whatever you want to call it, whether it be um, Great American Bash or whatever, those three let those workers work with Bandy and let one of those girls get the title. In my mind, I think that would have been more entertaining. But this is just me talking from a couch, Monday night quarterback. I mean, couch quarterbacking, or writing, what do you want to say? But and I get it. It's more difficult than just saying that in hindsight. But I think that would have worked for me personally, and that's all I can speak for. Is just me. This I love Toxic Attraction when it started. They all had the championships. It worked, but it's going on too long. It's jumped the shark a while ago for me. Toxic Attraction, like yeah, Mandy Rose. Oh, she's hot. She's sexy. Ooh, Gigi Dolan. Oh, she's hot. Ooh, JC Jane. Oh, she's hot. Like that's it. They can work in the ring. I'm done. I'm over it. Like let's move on. Let's find somebody to take them down. And I don't like say I got to watch NXT for Toxic Attraction anymore. I never have really, but I think that we were there live in Dallas for NXT, and when they won the tag team championship and Mandy retained, that was great pinnacle of their stable. They could have had a long reign to July, had a triple threat, a Great American Bash with Indy Hartwell and Alba Fire, and somebody else could have had a title for them. That point forward, great point to move on, and then have Mandy Rose try to fight her way back into it. Maybe things can change. Maybe she gets it back, and I mean maybe it does hop potato after that. But that year long reign stuff, it doesn't feel warranted to me personally.
I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm giving appreciation to because over that time, they're honest. That's what I'm saying. That roster was not filled with women. This is what I'm saying. When you're at the point of give the title to Mandy Rose,
that was a year
you know
ago.
what I mean? Like that's where your roster's at.
If that was a year ago, though.
But that's what I'm saying. A year. That's
like 6 months after that, they have already built Indy Hartwell as her own like act where with the Dexter Lumer stuff at the wedding and all, and I felt like she was actually getting steam with the fans. I really
Yeah,
do. And then
I get you.
they simmered her down. Like we didn't see
Is
her
that,
for.
is that women's champion? Is that women's championship
It's
hot?
enough for a great angle. I will say that. It's enough to get Alba Fire in the mix and do a great angle with her. Or back then she was called, something else. But
she was in the UK though. That's what I'm saying. Like she was in the UK doing her Thug Dizzle.
No,
her
she came. She debuted before NXT UK, went down, and she was called something else. She was. I've gotten used to the Alba Fire now. I like it, but she had a repackaging as Alba Fire.
She was KLR. She was
yeah,
KLR.
Kaylee Rose, Kaylee Ray.
Yeah.
So yeah, and she was, mind you, she was in Dallas. She was like, think about that. You remember? Didn't you sell a pack? She was still KLR at the time.
Sure did. I can neither confirm or deny.
Joint roller, man. Tap in. So she was on the NXT roster. That's my point. Neither here nor there. But she was on the NXT roster then. I'm like jogging my memory. I'm like, wait, did it? That never confirmed or denied. My bad.
Oh man.
Man.
So damn, we spent a good 30 minutes on.
This is what you wanted, so let's go. But no, I'm here for NXT. I'm seeing what they're doing. I'm tapping in. I'm keeping tabs of it. Thank you for giving the title to our guy Wesley. He deserves it, and he earned it. Not only that, he earned it. And obviously, we're proud of him. We're glad to see that. That's what I was hoping for. And Braun Breaker, we'll see him going forward with this championship reign. We'll see where it goes next. But after that, where you want to go next? Because I don't need a single screen because there's really nothing more for me to say on NXT. I think I've said enough.
No, I had to get off. I didn't want to keep leaving an empty screen up when I keep getting up and move the fan.
Oh, okay.
I be feeling so. I be going back and listening to the audio, and because I'm recording the garage, the fan be on me. Okay. So I be hearing the fan and the audio sometimes. So I'm like, okay, let me try to get both best of both worlds around here, so the shit not on the audio, on the computer, on the mic, and it's on me. So with that being said, I think we can move forward to okay. So we did Tuesday. Let's jump to Monday and clear off Monday. And
I mean, it was Halloween.
Yeah.
All the Halloween Thanksgiving
shows. It was a dope ass show of Halloween.
It was good. I think that it's a go home show. I think that we're here for the Bobby Lashley Lesnar stuff. Triple H was seeing. He said, "Oh, if you guys touch, the match is off." People are interested in that match. That's what I can say. People are interested in Brock Lesnar and Bobby linking up one more time to the point where I heard on Bustin' Open Radio, Big Bubba Ray and LaGreca wants to see this continue past Crown Jewel, which, hey, I'm not.
I asked OG Johnny 5 and the Comeback Spot podcast on Twitter. I was like, yo, y'all clamoring for Brock. They saying logically Brock lost 2 big joints in a row. He got bound for a win. Bobby's hot. He's good for a loss. So I'm like, yo, logically they won one. Do they do a rubber match? And they both agreed, or Johnny agrees, like, yeah, I think that this is not the last time that we'll see them. So, I mean, I think a third match, Bobby and Brock with a WWE package behind it, telling a story, rubber match. I mean, shit.
I like it. So I'm not gonna be pissed if Bobby loses this one because he did get a victory over him. However, I want him to get a clean victory over Brock. Like I want that because Bobby's the future, man. He's the now. He's the now. So I'm still waiting for Bobby and Roman 1-on-1. To be honest with you. So I think that he does need some steam going forward and to face Roman. So moving forward, I'm just waiting to see where this goes. Monday Night Raw kicked off hot. We had the Roman promo where the Miz came out. They were hyping up, Logan Paul, saying that his right hand can knock Roman out. I didn't really care for the segment personally.
He didn't say he can knock him out. He just said you gotta be, you just can't sleep on it. So essentially, what we going for is like Logan Paul can't wrestle, but he can pack a punch. And if he catch Roman one time, he's knocked out people, kept him down for a 10 count. And wrestling, all you need is 3. Like I get it, I get it, I get it. But Roman's like, nah, I'm the biggest dog in the yard. You know what I'm saying?
What I did appreciate was Roman saying afterwards, after he knocked Miz out with a Superman punch, saying, "I'm tired of being humble. Like these people can compete with me." He was screaming that into the camera, saying, "I run this shit pretty much." And that type of Roman swagger, that arrogance, honestly, he has been humble for a couple of weeks because he's been dealing with the whole bloodline stuff, kind of dismissing Logan Paul like it's nothing. Just to hear Miz come out his mouth and even question the tribal chief and say that, watch out for some right hand. It can, sleep you. Yeah, it's disrespectful, Acknowledge the tribal chief. He shut that nigga down and he left. So we'll see. More than anything, I think that Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns will be a spectacle for a test for really Logan Paul to see how he can do in the ring with a professional, like, the head of the company, the head of the table, what you want to call it, and how he can do in this wrestling aspect of main eventing a pay-per-view, and is he a main event star? Let's look at him as just a wrestler. Fuck the social media stuff. Fuck the influencer stuff. Can you wrestle Roman Reigns and main event a pay-per-view? If you can do that, dude, you got a future in this business. We've already proven it with the Miz. We've proven it with the Mysterios. Now you're with Roman Reigns. I mean, but the only problem is when you lose this match, there's nowhere to go from there, like other than like winning a championship, maybe like Intercontinental or, United States Championship reign. So he's kind of like, if he peaked here, I mean, then you peak here and you got to work on that, character work now. But we'll see because he clearly has a wrestling bug in him. He likes it, so it's not the last time we're going to see Logan Paul.
Well, I would essentially say Logan's not a full-time wrestler. So, yeah, next time we see him will be a high-profile situation. And that high-profile situation doesn't always have to be for a title.
So I mean, it doesn't always have to be for a title, but I guess you're right. I guess if you're not full-time, but like if you have the wrestling bug and you want to keep coming back, don't you want to win some gold at some point? And that's my mindset. It's like, okay, are you just a celebrity that comes in and does a good match and leaves and loses? And like that's my whole thing with it. Maybe he is. Maybe it's worth it to them. It's just say crossover appeal. You just use it as a bang for a buck business, over creative, and we'll make it keep it moving. But looking at him as a strictly from a wrestler standpoint, this is him peaking.
Oh, absolutely. This is absolutely him peaking. But I will also say this. Being able to come back to something where you left a good impression, right? Like, it's not Goldberg, right? Goldberg had a horrible Saudi. He had to regain himself. He took the steam off of Braun Strowman, and then he took the steam off of fucking Bray Wyatt, all to like garner himself back because he had a bad performance. But you Bad Bunny it, and niggas are like, yo, well, my nigga coming back. And when he come back, he get F5. They're like, oh shit, he came back. Like when you leave a good taste in our mouth, Paul,
yeah.
Jesus Christ, that is all right. Yeah. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and do Crown Jewel preview. Let's go ahead and do that.
Oh, before
go ahead and do that. Right?
Before we get to Crown Jewel, let's talk about. Listen, the best thing in wrestling right now, bar none. Sammy fucking Uso. Listen, we were talking about it last week, but or did we talk about it last week?
Yeah, we talked about it was Sammy Uso
on Patreon, maybe.
Yeah,
Sammy Uso. Yeah, we that was priceless. I just can't wait to see where this goes. But him making the bloodline crack and laugh. You go back and check it out on our Patreon, patreonregalwrestling.com, patreon.com/regalwrestling. Tap in, check our content, comments on that. But we went in on the bloodline and where we want to see that go and how Sammy has been a delight, on the mic.
We know where it's going, right?
We don't.
We do. Elimination Chambers in Montreal, brother.
Ooh. Sammy Uso, man.
Yeah. Big dog. Big dog Sammy. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, Sammy can fill the gap from like that fast lane.
Listen, Sammy and KO, Usos, WrestleMania. Let's go. I can't wait. Tag team championships online. Oh, we also spoke about New Day and the Usos on the podcast as well.
Yeah, with that being said, I think that's
yeah,
gonna happen.
yeah.
They mentioned it. They mentioned it. I'm sorry to cut you off, but they mentioned it. You know, continuously saying that the Usos have a tag team match with the Bruising Bro, the
Brawling
Bruising
Brutes.
Brutes. Yeah. And they did mention that they are a couple weeks away from the New Day's title reign record. So I do believe that they are working something together. Like, and I appreciate them. I appreciate the fact that they're calling on the fly too, right? Because everything don't necessarily go according to plan. You know what I mean? So I really do appreciate that they're keeping the door open and allowing themselves a little room for error. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they gotta go through the Usos. I mean, to the New Day to get it though. That's my own opinion. Is like we gotta see that one more time. You know, that's their biggest rival up to this day. I think.
With that being said, we just know we know they retaining on Saturday.
Yeah. So yeah, we're right here. We got Usos beating the Brawling Brutes. I don't think they're gonna.
Nigga said. Now we did have a title
crazy.
change on Raw, a tag team title change on Raw. How did you feel about that?
I didn't feel, to be quite honest.
You didn't feel. Wow. Now why didn't you feel, brother?
Listen, Dakota Kai and my girl Io should have had the championship, and so they should have held on to that until somebody, came up and had a great storyline with them. Honestly, to take it away, I don't think they're worth it. I don't think Asuka and Elizabeth even fit as a tag team, to be quite honest. But hey, it is what they did. Keep those girls happy because they've been on the bench. But I think that's what I see it as. A good match though. Good main event. But Io and Dakota really fit as the women's tag champions, and I think they should get the titles back to them. Honestly,
I mean, with that being said, can they win it back in Saudi? Like, I don't, huh?
They can.
You know what I'm saying? The only reason I'm saying that is just like you say, like, you give Alexa a bone, you give Asuka a bone, y'all title range, y'all go and then perform in Saudi. Alexa Bliss was one of the first women to ever perform over there as a women competitor. So, like, to have now a title match over there in Saudi, that matters. And I think if you lose the title, like, a lot of people be like, you hot potato in it, but it all comes together if Io and Dakota win it back and then help Bayley win it off of Bianca. Now, a lot of people do not like that, but does Bianca go the whole night and back as champion?
I don't mind it either way. Just give me a great match. To be honest. Now you want prediction? Bianca's winning.
So with that being said, Damage Control without titles,
without Bayley winning the championship. Bayley is a disgruntled leader of a trio. That's what it is, and her trying to get over the hump, still trying to, prove that she is in control. And we take this all the way to War Games, where then maybe just maybe you can turn it there. The crown jewel ain't it.
Now my thing is, if that's the case, does Io and Dakota win the titles back at any point in time so Damage Control can have all three titles?
I think they should win it back as soon as possible. I don't care if they win it back on SmackDown, Crown Jewel. Yes, they should win it back this week. Give it back to them.
Okay, so your prediction for Io and Alexa Bliss is Damage Control back.
Damage Control, baby. I'm there.
So Bianca, you got Bianca winning and Bailey. We got Bianca winning over Bailey.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I think we all on the
We're sending
same.
the crowd home happy at Crown Jewel.
I mean, that last woman standing match gotta go crazy though.
Yeah. I don't think we can see Bianca just laying down. Like, I don't see that how she lose the title. That'll be bad.
Drew and Kieran still cage, brother.
It can go either way.
Kieran needs this, bro.
No, he don't. He won last. He won the last one.
Don't nobody give a fuck about Karrion Kross. He need this.
This ain't gonna make them care about Karrion Kross, even if he wins. Here's the thing. Right now, Karrion Kross is Karrion Kross. He ain't gonna do nothing anytime soon. I'm gonna be honest with you. Roman Reigns is the head of the table. You can try to come up to his level, but right now, Drew's the highest that you're gonna get. You're not going after Roman. He's a heel too. So right now, you are at best, like third or fourth heel on the SmackDown roster. So maybe afterward, maybe I'm wrong, and they'll do a heel versus heel storyline on SmackDown with him trying to go for the championship. In that case, yeah, he will win this match. But I don't see it. I see Drew winning this match. I see this extending to War Games. He'll probably be in the War Games match with Drew somehow. They'll extend it to the Royal Rumble. He'll lose in the Royal Rumble. Well, he'll be in the Royal Rumble match to try to get a championship match. At WrestleMania, he'll lose there, and then he will extend it. He'll probably be in a freaking feud with Sheamus until WrestleMania or something, and then eventually we'll get a babyface champion where Karrion Kross will be like, "All right, TikTok, it's time for me to go after the championship." He ain't there yet. He ain't, unless he goes to Raw and faces Seth Rollins for in the Intercontinental Championship. That's the only way I see Karrion taking a leap anytime soon. And he's just in a tough spot. But he's back. He's wrestling, and we're glad to see him. And Scarlett looks great. So I'm curious to see him develop. That's all I want to see. And right now, Crown Jewel, Drew McIntyre needs his victory. He's been losing a lot in big shows. So he's taking the victory.
I mean, but Drew's Teflon though.
Drew's not Teflon. Well, I mean, he can lose. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you mean by that standard? Yeah, he's made. He's a made man. And now you got Bray. Like they're like carrying. He got a tough road, dog. I mean, to get some shot, get some rub, man. He has a tough road to get like that kind of cachet to be like a main dude. But I think what he's doing with Drew is right. I think I like their backstage brawls. I like what they're doing with him. Trying to just take out the big dog on SmackDown, and I think it's a good start for him. That's what I'm saying. But this cage match, I think Drew's gonna take the victory.
All right, I'm about to diverge real quick. I'm so sorry. Okay. Pause for all the wrestling fans. Can you be anti-Semitic while being a Jew?
If you are Jewish, can you be anti-Semitic?
Yeah.
Well, if
is that the equivalent of being racist if you're black? Right? You can be black.
I think so. I think absolutely. I think if you can have anti-black thoughts as a black man, I think you can be prejudiced against black people.
And I feel like
I think that there are Jewish people that can really be anti-Semitic as well. I think it's a possibility. It all depends on what your influences are.
No, as you clarified, the only reason I'm asking that's because Kyrie Irving it's just
damn, Kyrie gives everybody a headache.
Yo, I'm his same age, and I understand what it is that we're trying to.
What did he say?
He's trying to find himself.
Yeah.
Right. He's from Native American descent. You know what I'm saying? He's from Native American descent. He's from African descent. and also, black people are the first Jews, right? So, he is um, expounding to, I'm assuming, claim the culture. So I'm not speaking of him. I'm just
I know,
insinuation
I know, but
because
like,
because the reason why I'm doing this is because the only other insinuation people are making is that he's hateful.
I don't think he's hateful at all. Like,
I
I think
don't think
that
he's hateful at
that's
all.
funny things. Kyrie's just Kyrie, man. He's one of
He's
those
just
people.
miseducated.
Yeah,
My God, if that was
the Earth
ever
is flat. You know,
if,
I mean, he shows a documentary that people are like, listen, this is misinformation. Listen, at the end of the day, why do we care who were the first Jews? Why does that change anything today? In my mind, who cares? Like, I believe, and maybe I'm wrong for saying that. I believe Kyrie Irving should be a really good. He's gifted. He's talented. He has a great life right now as a black man in America. Just find yourself, and if you have people you love, take care of them. If there's anywhere you want to go back to your Native American heritage and provide for them, cool. If you want to go back to your African heritage and learn more about your culture, cool. But what does it change if you're saying the black people were the first Jews and all the Israel? Like, okay, let's say it was. Let's say who wants to debate that anyways? Like, honestly, but who
I,
cares?
I think and this is why I say
I'm
a
sick
lot
of this
of
conversation, but
no,
not you. But
I
like, why,
no,
why
I
people have
know,
to do that?
but the only reason why I'm sick of it too is because nobody is also extending him. I know a lot of people have extended him grace. You cannot call this man disingenuous and hateful and uneducated when he also is donating to the WNBA salaries, when he's also paying for George Floyd's funeral. I'm sorry, not George Floyd.
I think people like to pick on him.
Like,
Honestly, I do
that's what
think.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
mean,
unfortunate, bro. Like
yeah,
he is very much, he's walking with his Native American heritage to get the water flow and
that's awesome.
like
Yeah,
he's trying to ingratiate himself in so many things because he doesn't want to be just a great basketball player,
and
which is admirable.
that is
You know what I
admirable.
mean? Like nobody is giving him that.
The problem is he speaks up as an ignorant person. Like, I always say, like, everybody's ignorant, and it's okay to just keep it to yourself. At the end of the day, you can have your beliefs, but you know, just keep it to yourself. I think when it comes to certain debates and certain conversations, there's no answer to that. There's no like end of the road. Okay. Like, why even bring up all that stuff? Like, if you want to say, hey guys, help out my Native American tribe, there's water. That's a fact. You can go out there, you can help them out. You can tell people, hey, listen, I've been there. This is what's going on. I need you guys to pay attention. All this other shit that you just want to look up a documentary from and then study and say this is the truth. You guys are wrong, and tell the whole world that they're wrong about something. Okay, maybe we are, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter today.
That I mean that, and that's why I say I'm sorry, wrestling fans, because and we won't stay long. But like the thing about it is you're making my point with that because another commentator did the same thing. Was like, okay, what if there are secret societies and cults? I'm like, I think that's kind of the point of what he was saying. Like, why is it like okay? Another thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Another thing. If the government our government has legitimately stated and said we have seen UFOs just this past recently,
Yeah,
but for years they have denied that there was anything remotely possible. So when there is cracks in per se truths that ignorant people can latch on to, which is true, it gives them room to fucking maneuver.
it's conspiracy theories. I think that when you let your mind go down a certain path with just too far down the rabbit hole of what the past was or what somebody told you was going on, but with no tangible evidence of it. Like, for instance, if somebody was to try to kick me out of my apartment and it's a whole conspiracy theory and I have evidence of it, I can go fight that because it's happening to me. I'm experiencing a rightful injustice right now. But to say that, hey guys, everybody's under the plague of this unjust, guess what? You're right. We've been born into it. There's nothing we can do about it. So you just gotta live happily and find your way. There's a lot of conspiracy theories that are false. There's a lot that are very true. But I can't concern myself and go crazy and just say, hey, everybody, alarm. Hey, this is what's going on. Like some of it may be true, some of it may not be. But at the same time, ignorance is bliss. If somebody
Well,
lives from
let's talk about a real conspiracy that happened in wrestling. Let's correlate the two. There was a conspiracy that Colt Cabana was not allowed to.
Nah, go ahead, dog. Oh Lord.
Oh man.
Colt Cabana.
It was a conspiracy that Colt Cabana was banned from working and being able to get direct deposits into his mom's bank account.
That is not funny, man.
Listen,
look at that nigga's mom alone.
It's not. It's not that CM Punk refused to let this. How do you know that the Spectrum bill wasn't coming out of mom's account, brother?
Oh God, man.
How you know?
This is what I'm talking about. Like all this speculation and innuendo. Like I don't engage in that shit. At least I try not to. Listen, Colt Cabana's back on AEW, obviously. Face Chris Jericho. He's making a check. I'm happy for him. Where it gets deposited is none of my concern. It's none of my concern. Who cares who's paying his Spectrum bill? Like, I'm glad the guy's getting paid now. Maybe it was true. Maybe like CM Punk maybe he didn't overtly do anything, but Tony Khan was like, I can't have this locker room, go to hell.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe he's like, all right, let's move him here just for the peace of the locker room. I don't know what really happened or not.
Well, listen, but I want to say this is okay. This is my point though, and I want to say that this goes back to the conspiracy that CM Punk is a bad person, right? We want to talk about the things that, right? This is what I'm saying. CM Punk and Kyrie Irving is the equivalent to each other in their
controversial guys, yeah, for sure.
Kyrie Irving is the CM Punk of basketball, and CM Punk is the Kyrie Irving of fucking wrestling, because they elicit such. Now this is divisive. This is divisive because this is my thing. Colt Cabana really was there in AEW during a real tumultuous and hurtful time when they lost Brody. He came in that tribute show. He's been with the Dark Order ever since. And that is true to what you were saying when we previously had the conversation of Adam Page, Colt Cabana, those boys in the Dark Order really, really had a strong fucking connection. That is something that we can say that can be positive.
Yeah. We can sense that from what they've gone through and what they saw on the screen. It was in the storyline. We can see it.
If Punk and Cabana really legitimately have not had a man-to-man conversation to put it in the past, it is exactly what it is, right? Tony Khan is like, hey, Colt, I don't have nothing for you. Or, hey, Colt, like it can be that, like, legit. Now, Punk can say he didn't go to Tony and say that didn't happen. But we talking about a locker room. It's just like in Brooklyn right now, right? The nigga Kevin Durant said, I want Steve Nash fired. The GM and the owner was like, bro, we ain't firing this nigga.
Who said that they wanted Steve Nash fired?
Kevin Durant wanted Steve Nash fired.
Okay.
Right? Kevin Durant wanted Steve Nash fired.
The star of the team.
The star of the team.
Mm-hmm.
the GM and the owner said, we aren't going to fire him. This is our guy. You have to deal with it. So they went through training camp. They started the season, and they had a horrible start to the beginning of the season. And guess what the GM and the owner just did?
They fired him.
Fired Steve Nash. So what I'm saying is that you can't tell me CM Punk as a star player that you don't have the flex and the power and the ability to make it difficult for people to do their job.
Did Colt Cabana get fired?
Huh?
Did Colt Cabana get fired?
Colt, I don't know.
Let's start there.
I don't know if he got speculative, but I will
Exactly.
say this. If Colt Cabana is working on a per appearance contract basis,
He got fired.
what appearances did that nigga make?
He basically was. Yeah, but I heard that he was like going to be like on RH and all that shit, and then they just didn't use the guy. But I think that I can see what this way. I can see why people have this conspiracy theory with Colt Cabana. Maybe there's some legs to it. At the end of the day, the guy seems like a nice guy. He seems like a guy who loves wrestling, and I'm glad that he's getting a check and that he was able to, come back around and get a warm welcome to face Chris Jericho as the mystery opponent. And that's where my concern is. It's like the dude getting the check now. He's good. He's back, and CM Punk is gone. So maybe there is some legs to it, but I just don't know who's to blame. Because at the end of the day, it's Tony's company. So at the end of the day, shouldn't it be on Tony and not CM Punk? All this stuff about workers' rights with CM Punk and all that stuff. Tony still has the balls to say, "Nah, CM Punk, you gotta figure it out. Sit down in that locker room, have a man-to-man conversation. We're not firing Colt Cabana." Or he can do, "Listen, you guys stay away from each other. I'm gonna still have him work with the Dark Order at All Out. They're gonna do something, whatever you guys want to do." So you got to make your choices. If you're as a company, as an owner of a company, align with one of your employees over the other employee because you look at that, you just have a better relationship with one, or you just like that person more. That's not necessarily fair, but I do believe that there's always going to be favoritism in some facet. But if it plays into somebody getting a paycheck or even being a part of the company at all, like that's not right. So if there was something going on, I would say that that's wrong. Now he's back. The wrong was righted. It still shouldn't have happened if there was.
Speaking about the wrong righted with AEW, we also was very vocal about their black representation on screen. They fixed that. So again, Tony Khan, we will be the ones to give. Matter of fact, I can't even put WWE titles in this segment to disrespect you. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate what you did. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, the best belt in wrestling might be the AEW Championship still. Like the design of it, to be honest. Right now, what belt would you take over it?
Right now.
North American Championship, maybe?
No, I was still the women's tag team titles.
Oh, well, a lot of people don't like that one, but I like that one. I like that.
That's the nigga. We said we was
That's
shit. Those places fire.
They look nice. They look nice.
No, but I will say this. The black representation on AEW television screen, regardless of how it's shoehorned in or whatever the case may be, I love that shit. They had Ricky Rose. They spotlight West Side Gun. You know what I'm saying?
Trina was on a couple weeks ago.
Trina, oh my God. Dang it. You know what I'm saying? Trina and Jade Cargill.
So you got Swerve, you got Will Hobbs, you got Keith Lee's champion. Speaking
of Jade,
claimed.
Speaking of Jade, she Kurt Bow Wow. You know what I'm saying? Bow Wow said, "Yo, AEW signed me. And when I win my first match, Jay, can I take you out?" And she say, "You can't afford me, honey." You know what I'm saying?
She curbed. She could be curbing rappers left and right, man. She curbed Wale at the freaking
Listen,
Wale Mania.
well, but what I mean, listen, man. Listen. To be honest, she got a ball player, bro. Brandon
But
Phillips, one of my favorite
come
baseball
on,
players, nigga.
these guys are short though, you know, and it's
They
not.
money long though. What you talking about, nigga? I'm being dead. Fuck that, nigga.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no,
Listen. Jade
no.
is like, she needs like.
Listen, that nigga Brandon Phillips can be 5'5", and I may not be off because I think he may be 5'8". But that nigga Brandon Phillips made 100 mil, and one of the only few players with 200 stolen bases and 2,000. I mean,
I have to look
2,000,
him up.
200 home runs and 2,000 stolen
He's
bases.
6 foot.
Oh, he golden, nigga. He is motherfucking on the precipice. and he made a big bag, nigga. Yeah. That nigga is legit.
Yeah, yo. So yeah, shout out to Brandon Phillips. That's Mr. Cargill, or whatever you want to say.
That's what we're gonna call him.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna call him.
Listen, at the end of the day, you ain't. Yeah, he got that bread. He got that bag. 6 foot. Yeah, he made the cut.
Yeah, Jade said so. Listen, that nigga made 13 million.
But Jade Cargill, she's not sick. She looks tall. Like, cause this. Let me see how tall she is. She's 5'10", so she's taller than her. Just by a little bit.
And that's all women care about. Women care. Listen, fellas, the inch matters. Okay,
every inch matters.
All right, nigga. So, but back to the black excellence over there. The Acclaim tag team champion.
Yo, he's 10 years older than her, like, or 11 years older than her. You got him. Oh, good for him. Good for him.
I mean,
good for him. Shout out to Brandon Phillips, my guy. Toast the king.
The king. Yo, Brandon been fucking truth, nigga. What the fuck you talking about?
The king. Listen, man. Peace, king, man. Keep doing your thing.
Oh man.
Keep stealing them bases, baby.
Sorry, Bow Wow. That is not happening. Nigga.
Oh, listen.
Man, jeez. Man, okay. Yeah, bro. I mean, 2,000 hits, 200 home runs, bro. And he hit a grand slam with Jade, brother.
Yo, Bow Wow should go after what's her name? Yeah, Kiara's there, you know?
No, dude, that's Diamante, brother. Nah, okay, we want to talk about a fair fight. Bow Wow ain't fucking with Diamante either.
God damn, sorry, Bow Wow. You ain't got a shot. Oh my god.
Nigga, Diamante ride for hers, brother. Man. So shout out to Diamante too. She just she's had a match. Damn. Oh, that's what AW Dark had great matches. Trisha Dora had a match with Jade Cargill. And Athena had a match. AR Fox and Phoenix had a match on that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So they was really going in. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. What's
up? Damn, man. Anything else from AEW? Yo, John Moxley, you champion, bro, but like you can't, like, you know what I'm saying? Why you beating up Lee Moriarty like that? Like, why, like, and Lee got some shit in too. Like, shout out to my nigga. He ain't get pussy out there, you know what I'm saying? But still, that nigga
was good, man.
That nigga John just like disposed of that nigga. Like, all right, time to end it.
I mean, keeping it real, he's not on John's level yet, you know. But so I mean, rightfully so. But he did get his shit in. So let's just give him his props. John Moxley's on, trajectory to face MJF soon. Man, you knew what was gonna happen. But it's good that he got that rub, got in the ring with him to work with him, and I like what they're doing with Lee going forward. He's in the mix with the firm. He's getting his matches. He's getting his shit in. He got changed his hair color, dyed his hair. He got a little bit more of a look, put on a little bit more size, and I think you got a star in your hands, and give him the mic. See what you can do.
Mm-hmm. So anything from AEW
Yeah,
that kind of got you that you want
we
to
don't got
top?
any graphics yet or today. Sorry guys, but I was busy. But we got to talk about business and logic on both fronts of AEW and WWE. First and foremost, AEW. We saw the debut of Jeff Jarrett on screen in AEW. Yes, Jeff Jarrett. Let me get this right. Let me just get this right. He is now in AEW, and he is the director of business development. Just making sure I get it right. I don't want to get the role misconstrued. And congratulations to Jeff Jarrett. You know, his goal is to get AEW in more markets as on live events and all that stuff. He's been in the business of pro wrestling for, like he said on the promo, years. His whole family's been in the business for years. Got little relationships here and there. So it's a good acquisition for them. Problem: Jeff Jarrett doesn't need to be on TV. I don't know what that was with Darby Allin. I don't know what that segment was. I don't know where it's going. I don't know. I don't like it. They had Darby Allin lose a match to Jay Lethal because somebody interfered with a mask, pretending to be Sting mask, and then the guy who revealed himself, and there was zero reaction. And you know why? Because nobody fucking knew who he was. Like nobody knew who that guy was. Next thing you know, you get Jeff Jarrett come out. You hit Darby Allin with a guitar, and he cuts a promo on him. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? After the show, I get news that Jeff Jarrett is now the director of business development. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, you got Jeff working with the company, cool. Doesn't mean you got to put him in an angle, man. Like, I don't. And the fans were chatting. You still suck. You still suck. Has Jeff Jarrett ever gotten over the hump and moved the needle? I don't believe so, and I don't think that putting Darby Allin with him does anything for him, or putting them, with I don't know what they're doing. Just keep it, if you want a feud with Jay Lethal on them, cool. Have this random dude cost him the match who we don't know, and mind you, if the guy cost him the match in a Sting outfit, and it turned out to be Jeff Jarrett, it would have had more impact. First and foremost, just creatively, would have had more impact. So let's move that for the side for a second. But business wise, I think that Jeff Jarrett is better as a businessman when he's not. He's Cody. Like just focus on the business side of things. If your argument for Cody, I'm going to have for Jeff Jarrett right now. Just focus on getting them into markets, and every now and then you can show up and be commentator or something. Don't put him in a major angle with one of your biggest stars.
I would say if you aren't going to put him in one of your major stars, like where do you put him on? Like Dark nigga?
No, you put him backstage and doing his fucking job. Business development. You talk to Coney Khan. Hey, listen, I got this place over here in Nashville. They got you this deal. They usually sell this arena for this much, but we're gonna get you a deal here. This is what we're gonna pay. We're gonna sell tickets because we have a market there. I'm gonna push it. This is how we advertise with Impact, and I want to do the same strategy with you guys. And then we're gonna get you over here in Gainesville, Florida. We have a connection here. We got a connection down here in Atlanta. I've used these guys before. This is your job, Jeff Jarrett. Your job is not to be cutting promos on Darby Allin randomly. And I don't think that it's necessary to put him into this spot. I don't. I think that like you got him, cool. You don't need to have him on TV unless he's there to, come every like once in a blue. This is not how you debut him as a business development manager. This is not. I think you just announce it and then you just leave him away from a creative angle completely. The segment didn't make any sense. And I think that business and logic, you separate the business from the creative when it comes to Jeff Jarrett.
I think for the most part too, like this make you just further not care about the product. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just a bad use of an old head, plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? Like Dustin doesn't need to be wrestling, needs to be an agent. You know what I'm saying? Like
There you go.
it's
That's how
it's
you can use
just
them.
it's it is what it is, man. I don't really give a fuck about Jeff Jarrett, to be honest.
Thank you. There you go.
Um,
But there's some news for you, and there's how I always use them personally. But it is a business news story that came out this week. I just think that you keep it that way, keep it business with Jeff. That's all I gotta say. I think it's a great move for the company as far as his connections and what he has done in the business, as far as developing and getting you into other markets for live events. That's awesome. However, you don't need him on TV. That's all I'm gonna say. The
uh,
segment was a dud completely.
well, I mean, not really. The guitar spot was fire. Like we can't do that. We
Why? Because
can't.
Jeff reading.
Huh?
Why?
What do you mean why? Because who doesn't love a guitar spot, brother? Who don't love a guitar spot?
A random guitar spot that does nothing for Jay Lethal or Darby Allin, the people who actually matter in the company, not these
I mean,
random people that came out of nowhere.
Jay Lethal don't matter, bro. Like, Jay Lethal don't matter. Like, let's not do
He was the guy in the match. You're overshadowing Jay, and honestly, I think it's whack.
that. Yeah, I mean, but
Who the fuck was that guy in the Sting mask, anyways? Like that didn't make no sense either. It was a
yeah,
botch.
I guess that's
If you
true.
if you want to come out and say, okay, you're gonna come out in Sting gear and a Sting mask, and you're gonna have this reveal, that's not how you debut anybody. You don't do that. You like you want to get a reaction when somebody takes off a mask. Like, don't take a nobody and put him in there because eventually just it was so dead. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then after that, you get randomly Jeff Jarrett coming in the ring. Like, it's just weird, man. We'll see where it goes. Anyways, anything to talk about with the business and lots side of WWE with their quarterly earnings call for their stockholders?
I would say this. I'm gonna pull up Robert Hood one time down.
One time for
Give
the
me
one
one
time.
second. One time for the one time. Let me pull up and see what. Cause I got an alert and say that them niggas cashed in more than what they expected. So let me go ahead and see. Uh, um, Market Watch 23 hours ago posted and said WWE shares climbed 3% and extended trading Wednesday after it ranged up revenue and profits that topped analyst estimates. Fiscal third quarter net income was 41.7 million or 49 cents a share, down from 43 and a half or 52 cents a share in the year ago quarter. Now what they're saying is revenue improved 19% to 304.6 million from 255.8 million a year ago. And is also saying it had an estimated earnings share of 50 cents per sale. It looked like that they hit mark.
And all with the Vince McMahon controversy and spending 19.5 million on that investigation. So talk about Teflon. WWE seems to be impenetrable, and even if the CEO and owner of the company for the past how many decades? What 5 decades is like now not part of the company. They didn't take a hit at all. So congratulations. That's all I can say. That was awesome. They actually made money.
WWE is the shield of is wrestling, right? Like they essentially they
They bounced back
essentially.
great. They did. Put the right people
I
in
mean,
place.
like, there is no, there's listen, there is not a Ray Rice, there's not a Daniel Snyder scandal, there's not a Jerry Jones scandal that hurts the NFL. And with WWE, like if you continue to put out a product that is obtainable to people who want to obtain it, you will do very good in your markets. You know what I'm saying? So I would say for me, um, shout out to me hopping on because I think let me see. I think we talk about this often, but I think I invested a while ago, which was not much, not much. A share when I got it was $43.52, and a share right now is $74.03. You know what I'm saying? With a 52-week high of $79.83. So, you know, but it has had its lows. I wrote it out. You know what I'm saying? They had a really low. I mean, WWE wasn't doing. They had a 52-week low of $46, meaning I only made $2, $2 on something. This was always a long game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but nah, man, we got good things ahead.
Would you buy now?
Hell no, it's too high.
Okay, there you have it from Joint Roll Tyler,
Know,
stock
nigga,
stock guy.
nigga, this ain't Sony. You know what I'm saying? I'll buy Sony at $75, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think they're gonna hit 100? I mean, you might as well if you get 100. WWE. I mean, when they start, branching out like they said in the quarterly earnings call, they said they're gonna do the NXT Europe, NXT South Africa, NXT South America, and they're gonna make their own, grow their own markets. They're doing great in India. They're the second biggest sport in India. I mean, it looks like they're gearing up to take this stock price to the moon, baby. So it looks like you might as well want to buy if the things go according to plan. And I see that they don't. I don't see them with Nick Khan, Stephanie, and Triple H at the helm of creative. I don't see them having not hitting their goals. Put it that way. They seem like they got the right people in charge.
I mean, yeah, Nick Khan. Hello, they're gonna hit their goals regardless, man.
And they want to do something with the metaverse. I hear. Interesting.
I mean, if they want to do something with the joint roll Ayatollah or everything is wrestling, holla at your boys. You know what I'm saying? And we got anything else on the docket?
I'm just waiting for Miss. I'm waiting for the return of a couple people. That's all. We'll see. Obviously, they're making their money without the returns. And there's a couple people that I want to return to AEW. And once again, I'll leave this with the shout out to Stir It Up, waiting for her to show up and stir it up some more. Hopefully, she goes for a championship. Red Velvet, looking at you, babe.
That is a horrible way to end the podcast. So I'm gonna have it, and you know what? I'm gonna end it just like that. I'm gonna clip it, and that's gonna be how.
You don't gotta clip nothing. You don't gotta clip nothing. Trust me, I'll handle my own shit. Well, yeah, everything is wrestling. Check out eiwshop.com. All is love. Everything is wrestling, and we out this bitch. There's nothing else to talk about. Listen, I told you, I'm looking for some returns. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
This nigga said I'm so ambiguous. I'm looking for some returns and didn't say who or nothing, and then said I'm looking at you, babe, Velvet with a kiss and a wink, man. And so I guess we'll have to pay for Chidi's thoughts of who he's waiting to return on the next edition of Reasonable Wrestling Podcast.
We
what?
Nothing. It's over. It's over, guys. Thank you for listening.
You said who returns, nigga? You just said
we'll see. Listen, there's a plenty of people you can talk about. Naomi, Sasha, Cody, Charlotte. There's a lot of people that Randy Orton. There's a lot of people, but we'll see.
Oh, you wait on those returns. I thought it was somebody like more specific that you was waiting on.
No, I was mentioning the stock earnings call about saying they're making money. And those guys will move the needle a little bit more when they come back. That's what they were saying, guys. Just so in case you understand.
I don't think that those guys are gonna make them more money. I don't think. I mean, like, unless live shows go up a tick, maybe. I think
That's what they were referring to. They were talking about moving the needle.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
actually, that's true. That is true.
yeah,
That is true.
yeah.
That is true. And when those people do return, live ticket sales will actually do make a yes. That is true. That is a true statement. That is a true statement. I thought you as far as like moving. I thought you meant as far as like moving the needle is like creatively, like you like. I'm like, who you waiting on? Like, what you trying to see? But you talking about money wise? Hell yeah, nigga. I'm
Money
like,
wise, yeah.
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 I mean that
On
entices
both sides of this. Yeah.
that entices us on who we on how we attend shows. You know how we spend our money. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we're not going to no show if that shit don't motherfucking pop. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, so yeah, that okay. Yeah, but Red Velvet returning to the screen, it is something that we are
That's
both
something that I am looking forward to. Put it that
okay,
way.
yeah, okay.
I personally am looking forward to Red Velvet challenging for a championship in AEW. I can't wait. You sent me something on Instagram a little while back with her dancing. I was like, oh shit, I gotta check her out again. Forgot about her almost. But now we're looking forward to her being real. Great performer. I really do see a bright future with that woman.
She's a star. She's a star. Yeah. She's a really good baby. We said that she needed a heel run to make the babyface run. So I think her taking the title off of Jade legitimately after Jade takes away from Nyla. You know, quick little book in black, you know, because we didn't have that real quick.
Oh yeah, shit,
Red
Swerve.
Bro, oh, shit, fucking.
He just said Red Velvet. Listen, Red Velvet, book in black. Red Velvet versus Jade.
Yeah, Red Velvet, book in black. Yes, man, that's a great pivot, real quick from Swerve, nigga. Swerve on a swerve, nigga. Yeah, Red Velvet coming back as a baby face. You know, Jade talking down to her, talking about where you been. You ain't no baddie. Baddie's just here, yada yada yada. And then boom, Red Velvet, Jade, TBS title. I think that's a great look. I think that's a fantastic. That will tickle the fancy for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I mean, come on, Jade and Velvet. I mean, they've been in the ring before, but I'm down to see it again.
Yeah, with another dynamic of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a built-in storyline. Yeah. Tony, don't miss on that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that is how we end Reasonable Wrestling. Thank you guys. Like he said, check us out. All the medias and socialists. Reasonable Wrestling on Patreon, RW Podcast on Twitter, EIWshop.com. Make sure you pick you up a box of joint roller Ayatollahs. Or if you don't need a box, get you a couple packs. I got a couple packs for you. You know what I'm saying? My guy, you know what I mean? And we out this thing, man.
Always love everything is wrestling. Deuces.